Napa Valley is a world-famous destination for tourists, but what many visitors don't realize is that some of the most extraordinary winery experiences here are not just touristy tasting rooms. There's a number of extremely interesting, highly curated, immersive, and very private experiences that are available. On this channel, I've already discussed the best wineries to visit when you're in Napa Valley, but today we're going to go one step further. This video focuses specifically on Napa Valley's most exclusive winery visits, from mountaintop estates to cult Cabernet salons to private blending sessions where you learn how to make your own wine. Most of these experiences fall squarely into the luxury category, but I'll also feature one winery that I visit pretty much every year because of the refined ambiance and stunning scenery and overall enjoyable nature of the visit. As always, I'll provide a link to the website for each winery below so that you can check out availability, pricing, and the latest information for each of them before your next visit. And if there's any special Napa Valley experiences that you've enjoyed that I didn't mention in this video, be sure to let us know in the comments below. I just arrived at Shafer Vineyards. The sun is shining, and it's going to be a terrific experience here. I'm going to be doing the Shafer Hillside Select experience. Shafer Hillside Select has long been recognized as one of the truly elite wines, not just in Napa Valley, but in the entire world. So if you want to experience the best of the best, then this is definitely a visit you should consider. The experience begins not in the winery or tasting room, but in the vineyards. We'll go up into the vineyards and see the vines that produce the fruit for the iconic Shafer Hillside Select. You're given a glass of the Shafer Red Shoulder Ranch Chardonnay, which you can take with you on the ride. You're driven up into the steep hillside vineyards. You're driven right past some of the most prestigious parcels that contain some of the old vines that are deeply rooted into the infertile volcanic soils. Standing on the steep hillsides, you can appreciate immediately why the Hillside Select wine has such structure and intensity. The setting is dramatic and the views are absolutely spectacular. This footage does not even do it justice. Shafer uses sustainable farming methods, and when I was there was a herd of sheep that was on duty tending to some of the cover crops in some of the Hillside Select blocks. Following the vineyard tour, you head into the winery, which includes one of the most unique barrel rooms that I've ever seen that was created specifically according to the specifications of longtime winemaker Elias Fernandez. Now we'll head inside for a proper tasting. The tasting takes place in a refined, intimate setting where you're guided through a curated selection of Shafer wines. These wines are paired perfectly with gourmet bites that complement the wines beautifully. The tasting concludes on a strong note with the iconic Hillside Select. This is wine that's powerful, layered, and structured, and built for decades, but also extremely enjoyable when it is young. The Shafer Hillside Select experience combines stunning views, world-class wines, and Napa Valley history. This visit sets the tone for what high-level Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon truly represents. I've got a very special tasting today. I'm at Blankiet Estate in Yountville. Blankiet Estate offers something extremely rare: perspective. The visit begins with a tour of the vineyard and the winery, where you learn about the meticulous attention to detail that defines the estate. Yields are low, selection is extremely rigorous, and aided by the benefit of not one, but two optical sorting machines that ensure that only the very best fruit makes it into the Blankiet Estate wines. Everything feels intentional, but the real distinction comes when you go to the tasting room in the castle. This isn't just a Napa tasting, this is a comparative masterclass. We're going to be comparing some of the Blankiet Estate wines to some of the legendary counterparts from Bordeaux. And the Blankiet Estate wines are going to go head-to-head against those wines. There's two different flights, the first of which is based on Merlot-based wines. The Blankiet Rive Droit is compared head-to-head with iconic right bank Bordeaux like Petrus and Cheval Blanc. I was already ecstatic to try this first flight, but then I found out that there was a second flight of Cabernet Sauvignon-based wines. Specifically, the second flight included the Blankiet Estate Proprietary Red and Mythicus alongside 4 First Growth Bordeaux, namely Lafite, Margaux, Mouton, and Haut-Brion. There's simply no substitute for comparison tasting, and you learn a lot about not only the wines that you're tasting, but your personal preferences as well. For serious wine enthusiasts, this is absolutely one of the most intellectually compelling experiences in all of Napa Valley. It's luxury, but it's also education at the highest level. So far, these experiences have been about tasting and comparison, but there's another winery that goes one step further. This winery actually lets you be the winemaker and create your own blend. I'm here at Elusa in Calistoga, and I'm here to try my hand at making wine. So I'm going to try the blending session. But first, you're given a chance to enjoy the Elusa Sauvignon Blanc while you tour the winemaking facilities and learn more about Elusa's winemaking philosophy. Following the tour, you're directed to a private, exclusive tasting area where you get a chance to taste through the 3 different wines that you'll use to make your blend and also receive your instructions. There's 3 different components that we can use for the blend. There's a Cabernet Franc, a Cabernet Sauvignon from the Posen Vineyard, and also the Elusa Estate Cabernet Sauvignon. The Elusa single vineyard wine is very, very structured. It's quite aromatic, but it definitely has a little bit more structure and tannin to it. The Posen Cabernet Sauvignon is very aromatic, has a little bit more of a red fruit profile. And then the Cabernet Franc, you get a little bit of violet notes and also a little bit softer. Each of these wines was extremely enjoyable in their own right, but the real insight comes from the blending process. Just a small shift in the blend can have a big impact on the finished wine. The Elusa blending session is an experience that I highly recommend. It's immersive, analytical, and the wines are terrific. It also gives you a deeper appreciation for just how complex the blending process can be. Notwithstanding its swanky new tasting salon, Heitz Cellar represents a different era of Napa Valley. Founded back in 1961, this historic estate helped to establish Napa Valley as a premier source of world-class Cabernet Sauvignon. You're welcomed with a white wine. In my case, it was a very enjoyable, refreshing Sauvignon Blanc. After that, you're escorted to your table with stunning vineyard views for a proper comparison of 3 single vineyard Cabernet Sauvignons from Heitz Cellar. Each of these 3 wines is made in the exact same way. They use the same winemaking techniques and the same approach to oak maturation. The only variable is the vineyard, and that's the point. You can taste for yourself how fruit from different vineyards can result in very different wines. Wines that have different texture, aromatics, and structure. Better still, one of these wines is the iconic Martha's Vineyard bottling. For those of you who enjoy more elegant, restrained expressions of Cabernet Sauvignon, Heitz is an excellent choice, as all 3 of these wines have more restrained alcohol by volume that's more in the 13.5 to 14% range. These are elegant, well-balanced expressions of Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. On the patio overlooking the vineyards, the atmosphere feels polished yet unpretentious. This is legacy Napa Valley, understated, age-worthy, and timeless. If Heitz reflects Napa's heritage, Realm represents its modern evolution. Located in Calistoga, Realm North features a sleek contemporary tasting room. Realm built its reputation by sourcing fruit from some of Napa Valley's most prestigious vineyard sites. Realm wines are powerful and concentrated, but they're also approachable with polished, refined tannins. Realm wines often receive extremely high scores from critics. Realm does an excellent job with its bottles, both inside and out. Fans of art will appreciate the fact that Realm does an excellent job with its artistic labels, and in fact, it actually tries to acquire original artwork that it depicts on many of its wines. A lot of that artwork is used to decorate the Realm North tasting room. There's a sense of exclusivity here. Realm North is available by appointment only. You need to announce yourself and get buzzed through a gate to see the property and be let in. When I was there was no one else enjoying a tasting at that time, so it was very much a private, relaxed experience. If you want a modern, high-impact expression of Napa Valley, Realm North delivers it with force and without apology. If you want a change of pace from robust reds, or if you really appreciate well-made white wines and more elegant expressions of red wines, you'll definitely want to consider the Residence Experience at Stony Hill. Tucked into Spring Mountain, the Residence Experience feels less like a formal tasting and more like you're just visiting a friend on a beautiful private residence overlooking the valley, which is exactly what this used to be a few years ago. The setting here is serene. There's quiet mountain air, expansive views, and a slower pace. Stony Hill has a well-deserved reputation as a world-class producer of Chardonnay. This Chardonnay is well-balanced and elegant and extremely age-worthy. This was definitely the highlight of my tasting. But they also have some extremely enjoyable Cabernet Sauvignon. Those of you who do not like lots of new oak in your wines will appreciate the fact that these Cabernet Sauvignons are matured in neutral oak. You also get a chance to taste a library vintage with substantial age on it. But if you get a chance, definitely ask about their Syrah, which was one of my favorite wines of last week. This is a wine that's made only in certain vintages and in very low quantities. But if you enjoy Northern Rhone wines, you'll definitely want to give this wine a try. The tasting here is extremely relaxed and enjoyable. It unfolds at an unhurried pace. While you're in a private tasting room, you also have the opportunity to walk around the house and enjoy the outdoor area as well. Sometimes luxury is serenity, quiet contemplation, and thoughtful craftsmanship. Stony Hill embodies that philosophy. Pritchard Hill is one of the more prestigious areas of Napa Valley. Unfortunately, many of the wineries there are not open to the public, so it was a real treat to be able to visit Continuum, which is located high atop Pritchard Hill on Sage Mountain. Continuum was founded by the late legendary Robert Mondavi and his children, Tim and Marcia. The visit begins in the Continuum wine cellar, where you can tour the wine caves and learn about the production philosophy for Continuum. You also get a chance to taste one of the 3 wines that you'll try during your visit. This is their second wine that's made with fruit that doesn't go into their flagship Continuum wine, and which is made in an approachable style that can be enjoyed in its youth. The visit continues in the tasting room, which is the house of the former owners. There, you'll try the flagship Continuum wine as well as a relatively recent Sauvignon Blanc that they started to produce. In addition, you'll get a chance to try some of the olive oil that they produce on site. From the tasting room, you have stunning views of Pritchard Hill. While it was a little bit cloudy and rainy while I was there, that resulted in some rather unusual cloud formations that were enjoyable to watch. So I can only imagine what it looks like when the sun is out. This is extremely rugged hillside terrain. On the way out, I even encountered a flock of wild turkeys. Not every memorable Napa Valley visit needs to be at the top end of the pricing spectrum. Cuvaison, founded in 1969 in Los Carneros, is located in a cooler part of Napa Valley. It's closer to San Pablo Bay, and the cooler breezes from San Pablo Bay make it ideal for the production of wine from cooler climate grapes like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Cuvaison's tasting room has a beautiful and refined experience. It features floor-to-ceiling windows with stunning views of the vineyards and the Mayacamas Range. When the weather is nice, the patio is one of the very best places to be in Napa Valley. You can explore a wide variety of wines here, including rosé, sparkling wine, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, and Pinot Noir. For those of you who can't get enough Cabernet Sauvignon, Cuvaison's tasting room also has some excellent Cabernet Sauvignon from their sister property, Brandlin Estate, which is located on Mount Veeder. Most of their tastings also include a cheese plate, and they have some other food options as well. Cuvaison emphasizes sustainable and organic farming practices, and when I was there, they had a herd of sheep that were on duty controlling the cover crops. It was extremely enjoyable to watch them work. If you're looking for scenery, elegance, and a diversity of wines without getting into luxury pricing territory, Cuvaison is an excellent choice. But I should note that Cuvaison also has an upper-level tasting that's a completely private experience at their Boathouse, so that's an excellent option as well. Napa Valley offers far more than standard tasting flights. At the highest level, it offers privacy, architectural beauty, stunning views, world-class wines, and immersive educational learning experiences. If you're planning a Napa Valley trip and want to try something beyond the ordinary, these experiences are all well worth considering. If you want some additional suggestions, please be sure to check out my video on 9 top wineries to visit, which is linked above. Watching both of these videos will give you a comprehensive Napa Valley strategy. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments below which of these experiences interests you the most. I'll see you in the next video.